Nerding Out OG Episode 6. And welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am your host, Scotty827, joined in the podcast pool here with special guest co host, Swim Boi, or Swimmy, as I like to call him in
Hey
my head,
guys.
as I always. Is this when you come in, like when you were leaving and coming in? It's like that's what I want to shout every time.
Yeah.
Swimmy. Well, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've definitely made a lot of progress on all my defenses and pretty much have just about everything maxed except for a couple wizard towers that I'm waiting 3 days for, it looks like. And then I'll be done with that.
So, what? I mean, you like almost have a max base.
Yeah, I have like 40 more wall segments and then just all my traps and then I guess supercharges, but I'm not counting those because half of them are going to disappear soon.
How'd you? How'd you? How'd you do that? Like,
Um,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I got some ways to go, but
Yeah. Well, during Hammer Jam, I really pushed high on 16. So I pretty much went in 17 with max everything except for a couple of the worst traps. And
oh,
I mean, now it's just like, I, I don't even know. I got really lucky with rewards during the cookie crumble thing. I got like 2 books of building. So
oh,
I just like,
nice.
I got my spitters max like instantly and it was so good.
And so were you a max 16? Did you say, or you were very close,
Yeah,
but
I
traps?
was basically there. I was just a couple like normal bombs weren't maxed, but giant bombs were maxed and seeking air mines were maxed as well.
Because you've always been above me. And that hammer jam was just lovely for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
I mean, because really, like a month and a half ago, right? I think it was 2.5 months ago. I was a tunnel 15,
Hmm.
and now I'm a 17 and making really good progress on it.
Yeah.
Um, what was your defensive upgrade order at 17? Like, what did you focus on first?
For me, it was definitely the spitters. That was like I was gonna put for sure my books and hammers and everything to the spitters first, which I got lucky with.
Yeah.
And then next was I think I was saving my books for the multi-archer tower and the Ricos, just because those were the longest upgrades. Um, and then air defenses were what I would put like my builder time to, because I mean air is so big right now that it definitely needs that extra DPS.
Yeah, I I've been I got my Archer Towers done, and now I think I'm gonna focus on my air defenses actually.
Hmm.
Um, just they're always the ones that seem to be in the way. Like you know, I don't know why of all things that they seem like painful to upgrade. They've always have
Yeah, yeah.
every town hall level.
Hmm.
Um, but it with the books and with everything, it has gone surprisingly fast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with season pass, I mean, you get what, 2 book of heroes, a book of buildings. So every month you get just a free building upgrade. And then with all the other challenges and all that, they've made it a lot easier to speed through things.
Are you looking forward to being maxed? Like done?
Um,
I mean, do you feel like you're done?
yeah, kind of. It's I'm already kind of feeling the effects of it. I've had max gold elixir and dark elixir for the last like 4 days now, and so attacking with that kind of hurts
Oh,
because I know I'm
yeah.
wasting and wasting.
Yeah.
Um,
What a powerful thing, right? Like to think about we're wasting elixirs. And I used to not like attack sometimes because I'm like, well, I don't want to waste it. When I was filled up. I don't know why. Anyways, continue on. Sorry.
yeah, like I don't know. And then it's just traps left. So I know that traps really can make a massive difference, but kind of like you with the air defenses, I was just it hurts a little bit spending like just seeing 9 day upgrade for 25 more damage on my giant bomb. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And I have been actually going back and um kind of working on those because there's a lot of my traps are under leveled. Even though
mm,
I thought I've been putting in a lot of work on them. I guess there's just so many.
yeah.
Um, but I was thinking about it as, you know, kind of following like tips, advice on, you know, keeping the top stuff for books.
Hmm.
And I think there was a quote by Sun Tzu. I think it is. I don't know where it is. But
Hmm.
it just popped into my head. And it was, um, be strong where you appear weak.
Yep. Yep. I think.
Is that one of, and so
Mhm.
what I was thinking was maybe what I should do then is just work on my traps more while I've got under leveled stuff because people will hit it and I could capitalize on that.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I see what
S-
you mean.
So I'm at least keeping one of the traps going. Like,
Yeah, that's smart.
because there's just been a big slowdown with the town hall upgrade and the
Mm.
minion prints. Like I
Oh,
feel
that.
like I've got three builders kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I appreciate that they gave us 70 free levels for like high level 16s, but it's still, I mean, 20 more levels to go is.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough.
Yeah. I've had mine down this whole time, and I've only gotten 7 levels on them.
Yeah, I think that's where I made one mistake and I think I started him and I thought I had a book of heroes, so I had to gem it, get it buy a book of heroes or whatever. But
Hmm.
other than that, he's just been down. And seeing some of these attacks with
Hmm.
him, I knew this was gonna happen. Right? Like you're gonna see some and people are gonna start doing cool stuff with it and
Hmm.
I'm gonna want to play with him, but I'm I'm holding out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
It'll pay off in the long run, I guess.
So your heroes are where?
Right now, I have not even touched my king, RC, or queen. So I think I'm done with spending the time for upgrading heroes, except for the prince. So I've just been waiting for books.
Yeah.
Right now, my warden is 73, so 2 levels off max. And I'm just putting all my books to the warden because I feel, well, I might have to change that strategy a little bit because I used to be using him as like a damage hero with the
Oh,
fireball and rage.
yeah.
Putting levels on him really made sense, but now I'm with the army I'm using, he's more of a support. So, I mean, the RC, I might have to start like this season's books. I might have to put into the RC
What's
because
she at?
she is 45 with
Oh yeah,
max
that's
red.
right. Okay. Yeah, mine's at 40.
Hmm.
It's kind of a revolving thing with those heroes. And that's why I'm keeping the prince down because I'm just like, you know what? Him, I'm not going to put books on or anything. I'm just going to,
Right.
and then I'll put the books all to the other heroes. Cause you know, with the hero potions and stuff, it really, I use the raid medals and I buy
Hmm.
potions and I've stayed flush with that. So I just can't wait for those heroes or just like, and especially now doing legends, right?
Hmm.
Because the last time you were here, you had started legends and you were loving it. And I
Yeah.
said, maybe I was going to do it. And I did it. And
Yep.
I'm loving it as
It's
well. And it's kind of changed the game a little bit. Like it definitely opened up a whole different side of it to me.
Yeah.
I used
And
still
it's like the focus that you have to put into attack, like with war, you get that with every attack now. So it's really, really, really good practice for you, for sure.
I agree. Like I, it's like it's stressful. Every one of them that I go into, I'm like, okay, this counts for something.
Yeah.
Um, kind of makes it a little bit tough. You know, I don't know how you change up your armies and stuff.
Mhm.
But I am definitely starting to, you know, I'm feeling like that I'm getting much better practice and I'm getting up there. Um, but I have been getting a lot of 99% or 98%.
Yeah, that's been the case for me as well.
So, tell me about your Legends experience and what you're using.
So yeah, so this season, I completely changed my attack. I kind of planned it like this. So last season, I was just kind of playing around, getting used to it. I did pretty well. I think, here, let me check.
Was it your best,
My pro.
I suppose,
Yeah, last
because it
season
was
I
new?
got to 5,699
Oh,
was what I ended with. I think my best was 5,701, but then there was a couple days that I was like on the plane and I just didn't get in my attacks, and so I had to recover from that big time. I'm never quite did. I was 3 trophies short, but anyway, so I was using like one army that whole time, just kind of playing around, kind of getting used to it. And then this season, I've used this new army. On the last podcast, I was talking about using what was it,
spirit
seven
walk.
invisible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the spirit walking swimmy.
Hmm. Yep. And so seven invises and using the spirit fox. So the RC would go almost. It would be over a minute that I'll just be putting all my focus, all my time
Yeah.
there. And it was insanely powerful, but I would just time would run it. I would just always get to 85, 90% with the rest of my army, and then it just time fail, and I would have so much left, and I would be like easy triple with all my heroes up still, and it would be crazy.
Yeah.
But so I changed that a little bit. So now I'm only using 5 invisibilities instead of 7, and I am using the Phoenix instead of this Fox.
Okay.
And
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
I saw War Pig doing that.
Hmm.
I did not realize you were doing that as well.
Yeah. I like it a lot. So the problem with the Spirit Fox is it was really hard to try and get both the RC and the Fox in the invisibility because the Fox would run off ahead or hang behind.
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating. And then it does really extend the time of the RC walk, which is good in some circumstances and not so good in others. So with the Phoenix, I have the RC just, I give her 35 seconds, or how long are the invises? Like 30 seconds basically to, do her thing. It's pretty easy kind of following her because it's just the RC that I got to worry about. And then I recall her out. And so I pretty much use her to funnel a corner. And then I use
Yeah.
my queen and siege barracks on the other corner to set the other side of the funnel, or the anti-funnel, I guess. And then I can just go power right through the middle.
Okay. I'm doing something similar.
Hmm.
Okay, there's a lot of things clicking in my brain right now. Um,
Hmm.
because I said in chat for number one, my spirit walk looks more like a drunken stumble. Eh, Like, yeah, because I'm trying to get her in the thing, and then what ends up happening is she steps out or something, or I misclick or something, and then I'm kind of just thrown off, and I'll keep her invis. But and I keep looking at your guys' attacks, and I didn't even think to look for the pet, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I'm like, how is that so smooth? That and I'm like, well, yeah. Now I'm thinking, oh God, if I was just doing the invis, that would make it way easier to get her where I want her
Oh
if
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not keeping that fox.
Hmm.
Okay. And you said
Yeah. And
five invis? Seven.
uh yeah, right now I'm using only 5.
Okay. And Warpig was using 9.
Yeah, I just
Slicing
for me,
off
the more time I put into the RC, yes, you get a ton of value for it, which will make the rest of your army faster and smoother. But then it's a trade-off on time as well, because the RC is only outputting like what, 500 damage a second. Where the rest of your
yeah.
army all added up is just tons and tons.
The other thing I wasn't doing is putting a queen on the corner with a siege.
Hmm.
And
Oh, it's so good for funneling.
oh yeah, it's this is a bunch of stuff is just clicking into place.
Hmm.
Um, and I think some of it is, I don't know if you find yourself doing this, but like the legacy strategies, like in your mind where you've got like, okay, I do it this way and then you add in another piece of an attack, or you add in, and then pretty soon you're following one strategy, but it's coupled with another, and
Yeah.
you haven't rethought it like as a whole.
Hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That would actually save me a lot of. Um, you wouldn't use the king on the with. I suppose not.
I mean,
Or
you definitely could. I like using the king with the main, with my main army because I mean, in the core, I've been using the spiky ball in the boots, and it can just shred. Even though my ball is still really under leveled,
okay.
but the amount of damage it can do, I mean, 2,000 to 6 targets right now, is crazy.
So
So.
why not the gauntlet over the EQ boots? Because I've been struggling with this, and I got to ask you about what's in your CC2. That was the other thing I was. I think in the chat it was said, if the EQ boots for if the king's going in.
Mhm.
But what am I getting out of the EQ boots that I'm not getting from the gauntlet? Like if they're both really high.
Right. I would say the nice thing about the boots is, so I'm using root riders, so it's not as important. But with the king, if he does get separated at all from the rooties, he's gonna kind of path in a separate way. But if I want him to target this monolith that's behind one wall that's just pounding on my army, I can pop that and he'll go straight to it because it opens up that wall. So it's kind of
Okay.
nice as like a kind of backup. And then it also does so much damage that plus the spiky ball is a guaranteed knockdown of like 3/4 of the buildings as well. And if you like fall into like a tornado trap or something, then the gauntlet kind of gets wasted in some ways.
Um,
But the double epic is definitely still really powerful. I would say it's kind of how you feel, like the way you attack and what you feel is stronger. Because
okay.
I
Yeah,
would say that are.
I'm kind of getting it up and leveled up there. Like where it's at level 17 right now because I was working on the electro boots. But I've been running it here and there, and I had it on. I did a couple attacks. It went really good. Next attack, I thought I didn't get enough out of it, or if
Mhm.
the king wandered. Um, and then I put the gauntlet back in, and I started smashing. So I guess maybe I'm just not familiar with some of the equipment, and like I guess I'm switching it, thinking they're going to do relatively similar. I guess I'm just unfamiliar with it and have
Right.
to figure out how to maximize it a little bit more. What pet are you running on him?
On the king, I I was just playing around with this, and I put the fox on him since I took the fox off of the RC, and he is like immortal now because he just invises through single target infernos. He invises through the monolith, so it would target like a root rider or something instead, and he's just lasting forever. And it is, I love it.
How are you? How are you drop? What order are you dropping him in?
So okay, so once I funnel out the two corners, with the RC and the Queen and the Siege Barracks, then I usually drop the Rudies first in the middle. It's just like a normal Root Rider Valk army. And that goes straight through the center. And the King, it doesn't matter if I drop him first or last because he's invisible for the first 4 seconds. So I usually drop the Rudies first, then the Valks, then the King, and then I drop in the RC last because she's usually super low health after that recall,
Yeah.
and then Warden as well. And I have the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome on him right now. And so with the RC being so low, pretty much just have to watch her so she doesn't go into the Phoenix ability. And then I pop the Eternal Tome like pretty early. I usually kind of push into the town hall. And so that with that, it can almost heal the RC to max health again. And I
Wow.
keep everything else safe as well.
Okay, because I haven't Okay. I I'm gonna try that.
Mhm.
I finally have my yak just got maxed. I just finished it. So I put the yak back on the king
Mhm.
for the last two tacks, and I was like, and it was half of where it was the last time it's like double, I guess. So it was last time I was using it was like level 8, so this is like awesome.
Mhm.
Um, but I will switch that out. Uh, wow, I could see how that you don't have any healers, right?
I I have 5 healers in the army. Like, it's a very
Oh no,
healing.
okay, okay, good. Okay. All right. That's I was thinking that was the one difference between um mine and yours. And have you tried it with the rage gem?
Not yet. No, I was actually thinking earlier this morning because I did 2 Legends hits this morning, and they were not that great. I
Uh,
had an almost perfect day. I was like 6% shy, spaced out through all the attacks of having a perfect Legends day like 2 days ago, and then yesterday it was like 4 perfect attacks and then some like 90% highs. And then today I hit like a 53% 2-star and like a
oh,
7 or like an 85. And I'm like, that's not good. So
oh. So you're staying
I'm
pretty high up there in percentage. I've been down in like it's either been a 70 or 80
mm-hmm,
or a 3-star over the last couple days.
right. So
Um couple rough
I've been
attacks.
I've been thinking about trying to use super witches again because that was like my Town Hall 16 army that I just always used. And so doing it the exact same way as I used to, except I have a better funnel with the RC and the queen, and then having the fireball and the rage gem. Because I think, I mean, taking out like 20% of the heavy defenses with the RC, plus another like 20% with the ward and fireball, I think it could be crazy good.
Yeah, I think that would be I got to get my fireball up a little bit too, but I think it's in range.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it to 21.
21's the, yeah, that's really good. You can take out, I'm trying to remember. I think just about everything except for the monolith, um, and a couple of the other. I think spitters too. Monolith and spitters, but with 2 earthquakes, you can take about just about anything.
Well, so you're doing better in Legends League than I am. So, uh, tell me, how are you when you're going in to look at the base?
Hmm.
What do you like? I think I'm losing some time on the scouting, or
Mm,
I'm just looking for the one thing I want and not looking at the base. So,
right, right.
like, how are you? Um, what do you look for? Like, boom, you're in.
So my strategy is I first look where the spitter's facing because that's 425 damage for one that I have to worry about. Um, They like if they're facing the same direction, then I will guaranteed enter the opposite side unless I can quickly take them out through an eternal tome. But if they're both facing one way, I'm always entering the other side, even if I know they're trying to bait me or something. Like I'm
Yeah,
I'm not dealing with that. Um,
they're rough.
yeah,
It's fun to watch people get hit on my base with it.
yeah,
Because it like if they get caught right in it just they demolish.
yeah. So I'm definitely looking for that first. Then I'm looking for spell towers because if they have like a core that's has invis spell towers, which is all that I'm worried about, then there's a really good chance that I'm gonna 1-star. With the
Really?
Yeah, with this root rider attack, the only way that I like not the only way, but it really helps if they have a triple ice golem CC so that I trigger the invis, then I get stuck on the ice golems for long enough that the invis goes away, and then I can go through the town hall or the
Oh,
tornado trap. So their
yeah.
defenses help me a little bit. Um, but I really that affects my plans so much.
I didn't even think to check for that. I'm kind of looking at and this is kind of like legacy thinking.
Mhm.
And I think it was I was talking with Carl and Ghost Knight the other night, and I think one of them I think it was Ghost Knight mentioned looking for the scatter shots first.
Hmm.
Like he would look at that. But I but I'm afraid of those spitters. So I've
Yeah.
been kind of looking like, can I get a scatter shot or a deep spitter?
Right, right, right.
Because mine just they get torn up so bad. Like I just can't usually get them that far.
Mhm.
Do you come in on the do you come in on the scatter shot side, or are you kind of looking at them like the like it was before Town Hall 17, like you have to take those out? Or where are
I
they in your like
I haven't looked at scatter shots since, like, Tunnel 14, I would say. I mean, yes, I keep that in the back of my mind, but for me and a lot of my attacks are usually in the core, and I can usually take out 1, before my tome runs out. And so then it's just 1
oh.
that I have to worry about with, like, a freeze, which usually I can get, like, both the Town Hall and a scatter, with 1 freeze spell, or kinda pair it. So, I definitely see the damage that they do, but I take care of it in other means, so it's not too big of a worry.
So you must really hold your uh ability on the warden.
Yeah, I do for a while.
Because like it would depend like a lot of times like if I'm gonna come in from that I'll tome early. And I think I've been um triggering my abilities way too early. I've been trying
Mm,
to push it lately and I've seen some results. That's kind of what I used to always do. So it's creeping
mhm.
back in. Um but if I'm gonna come in through like one of those uh really hard areas, I will almost tome through it. And maybe I'm just overkilling it. Because
Right.
I think mine really depends on the core, and maybe I'm just not letting him burn in enough.
Yeah. I usually wait, I for sure keep an eye on the RC, because the second she's out, if she dies early in attack, I know my chances of tripling, like, approach, like, 20%.
Really?
Yeah, because she deals with the, CC pretty much no matter what it is. I mean, if it's triple ice golem, she even when she's frozen, she's still doing that 250 damage per second to the because of her aura with the boots.
Oh yeah.
And then if it's like witches or headhunters or anything, like she just demolishes them. Air troops, like it's super good for the CC. Skeleton traps, I found surprisingly do a lot more, not damage, but they just hold things up a ton more than you would think.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then just the extra it's an extra 700 damage on the battlefield with the boots and with everything. And it's really makes a big difference, like in the core. So I watched her number one, and then I kind of look at kind of the average health bar of my Rudies and Valks. And once I see them drop below like 50% on average, then I will definitely tome then because they'll just heal right back up.
Okay, so here's my question. A
Hmm.
question. I'm looking at a lot of these bases. They'll have the CC on one side, uh, and maybe a lot of high damage, or you can come through the other side. Uh, what do you prioritize luring or pulling that CC?
Honestly, because for me, it's probably been about 80 to 90% of the CCs I've encountered is either triple ice golem or double ice golem with a little bit of extra like headhunters or archers or something. I if it's to one side, I will almost always attack from the other side just because I don't want to deal with that CC triggering with the whole core of my army and just holding me up for like 20 seconds. Because that's been a very big issue in the past.
So you will
Um,
do what you can to keep them from getting into the core when you're there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And usually they get triggered by then, but if I can get the town hall and spitters that are shooting at me, like if I can get the big damage stuff around me down, then it's fine if they just keep freezing me over and over because there's just like, an archer tower shooting or something like that, and it's
Yeah.
not too much damage. Where if it triggers while I'm like not done with the core yet, then it messes everything up.
Oh man, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think the boots are overpowered?
Um,
I'm sorry. As I'm thinking about like the whole attack.
yeah. I think yes, they are, but not to the point that it's completely game breaking. And
Yeah.
the only nerf I could see that would make me not use them as much, and I could see them doing this for sure, would be to lower the radius of the aura. Because if they drop the damage,
Oh,
it still is doing, no extra. Let's say they drop it to 100, which would be over a 50% nerf. Um, that still is destroying skellies, still is hitting those CC troops, spam troops. It is still extra damage to all the trash buildings and helping the RC damage boost. Like it's still crazy. But if they drop from what is it, 8 tiles right now, or 4 tile radius or something like that, if they drop it to like 3 tiles or something, like
you take it off.
yeah, it would be gone then because then
Hmm.
it would
Never
hit
think
like
about that.
2 buildings. Yeah.
Well, are you really? So I was looking at War Pig's attack, and it was like he just shaved off this whole kind of piece of the base with his. He had 9 invises,
Mm-hmm.
and as he walked through that, I thought I'm I am not utilizing them as effectively as I really can be. Uh,
Mm.
Part of that, I think, now, if I did not use the fox, I I could more intentionally use her. You know what I mean? Like steer her
Yeah.
because I'm not like paying attention to the other thing. But he was really using the boots, just as like cleaning, right? Like, and I just thought it was like
Mm.
an added bonus before. That's
Mm-hmm.
so like I'm like, wow, will she get through some heavy buildings for you? Like, or would you put her on? Will you send her through the lighter buildings? I guess, or the heavier HP. Does that make any difference to you? I guess maybe is the question I'm trying to
Yeah.
ask.
What I prioritize, in at least my entry, is if I can get one core defense, which I would count as spitters, scatters, what else? Maybe a like a Rico or a multi-archer
Yeah,
tower.
those cannons now are
Um,
just, oh,
yeah. So if I can get at least one of those, then that will push up the corner, like in my mind, as oh, I want to attack from like this side. And then what I would prefer is if it's kind of surrounded by a lot of trash that's low HP. So like the helper hut, um, uh, army camps, things like that that are semi low HP. That if the RC gets stuck on a defense for a couple seconds, I'll destroy those because that's just going to help so much with funneling.
yeah.
Um, and then it's pretty much if it gets like starts super light HP and then it gets heavier and heavier as I go in, now it's like a perfect corner for me.
Oh, man, that could really change my spirit walk. I mean, what we've talked about,
Hmm.
because I was really feeling like I'm just doing something completely wrong because you guys have just been like so good when you're in those war attacks. I'm like, wow, I just mine doesn't look anything like that. I'm going in, I'm watching the timer, and then things get
Yeah.
off. And then I was gonna ask,
Hmm.
like, on that timer, when you're doing that, do you do it so it lands on the 6? Like to me, almost feels like I have to drop it and then it drops a second later.
Right. Yeah. It's like
Or are you
you
doing
have
it
to
to land
anticipate the
on
six.
this?
Yeah. It's to kind of land on the six. So in between this, like it shows seven, and then after it shows seven, then you start the drop, and
And then
it's kind of weird.
yeah, because it's got a boom boom.
Yeah.
Okay. That would change up my attack a little bit too if I'm using the
Hmm.
fox. Because then I'm letting her go for an extra second, I think.
Mhm.
uncovered because she gets really low health. And then usually what happens in on mine attacks, she gets low health, and then I'm invis panicking, just like dropping them as soon as I can think of, and I hit her ability because I'm like, you got to get this stuff out of there at least, and then I recall
Mhm.
her, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just hope nobody's watching when I do that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when I was using the Fox too, I definitely ran into that a lot, where the panic starts, and then,
yeah,
like, once you, like, get through that panic mode, then you're like, "Okay, now I gotta get back on the timing," and it's
yeah.
it's too much, you know?
How do I recover? Is this
Yeah.
is this thing gonna be 2 seconds, or how is this affecting like, yeah, is it the invis spell or is it the fox that's gonna wear off here at the end
Exactly.
of this? And I'm
Yeah.
like trying to watch it. Why can't I do this right?
Yeah, it took me I didn't even before I switched, like, I still was having that happen, like, a portion of the time, and it's like, you feel so good about it for a while, and then just, like, the fox dies all of a sudden
Yeah.
or something like that, and it's over then,
Or you
and
leave them
it's
behind in the recall or something,
oh, yeah. Yeah,
which,
that recall, like, sometimes I've had the RC almost run out of it, and before like, I dropped the spell, and by the time the spell, like, activates because it takes, like, a half second, she's already almost outside of it. I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
have you tried it with the revive?
I have not, just because if I mean, I'm kinda using it as a funnel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So if the RC is off by herself, I would have to wait on that revive for a long time until the army is kinda close to her so that she just doesn't completely die again.
Or you could drop a Electro Titan with your siege,
Mhm.
or like, or even just along with it. Because I have a Electro Titan that I'd like to send in through the funnel, but
Mhm.
I just because of those skelly traps and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
I sometimes will drop her over by the CC or over by the siege if I need her. I see those troops coming out because then it'll just like waste it. But
Right.
I like the revive. Uh, I haven't been playing with it just because I'm trying to learn that one attacker, just trying to figure it out as
Mhm.
much as I was. But it's kind of nice in a way because if you end up not needing your, or let's say you're going to recall your plan is to recall your RC,
Right.
and instead uh it will just be better to recall your king or your queen because they're going to do much more. Then you
Mhm.
kind of have like a backup plan, like you have some choice later on if needed, but then you
Yeah,
can't take all those troops either, or like
true.
replace her where she's at.
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely like, I put a lot of thought into it, and I was gonna try the, revive, and then it's just like, that would be so much better in certain situations, and then so much worse in others, and so it's kinda like,
Yeah, do you
I feel
get
like
more
the
or
yeah,
less?
and then also, I like saving the, RC ability. So I don't have her die or, go into the ability and use the ability at all at the beginning. I recall her with the ability still and send her in with the main army, and then when she's in the core or about to run ahead of some of the army, then I pop the ability, gives her a little extra health, and then she kinda hangs back with the spear.
I mean to do that every time. Swimming. I mean to do it every time. Then I get into the invis panic mode
Yep.
and do that. But yeah, that was a good tip. Tyler had, I think, where
Mhm.
you're if you let it stop on like the trash buildings or wherever you want
Mhm.
to throw your spear, then she's gonna do a lot of damage while she's throwing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought if the hogs and the boots would work well together for
Actually,
like,
I was talking to one of my friends on the swim team about it because I've been talking to him about the boots and stuff. And he was like asking what to pair with it. And honestly, I think it could. Um, I think really any of the equipment's really synergize with it a lot. Um,
because like, let's say I was thinking about this. What would it be good for? And I was
mhm,
thinking if if you needed to do a CC pull along
Mhm.
with your walk, that would be really good, to get a deep CC pull,
Yeah.
or maybe a single inferno, but then you run into like yeah, is would there be a benefit where after a spirit walk or something, then you release the hogs and then beam the hell out of there?
Oh, so the hogs are still left there that, are getting rid of some of those last defenses, doing that last little bit of damage, but then you pull out the RC before she gets hit, and then you send her in.
Yeah, like release the hogs into
Oh.
a place in the base. Maybe if there was like a really dense core, or you needed I just thought it would be cool looking. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
brainstorm whether or not, it could be used for something.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
that happens for me a lot where, like, I use my last invis, and I'm like, "Okay, I got, like, 3 more seconds, so I gotta use that recall." And then it ends, but then she's on like a spitter, and the spitter has
yeah,
like a tenth of its health left, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I don't pull her out, she'll go into ability or use the phoenix, and then she's worthless. But if
yeah.
I don't get her, then there's these two builder huts right here that are just gonna rebuild it, and I'm like, oh, so
Like
that
would
could definitely help with that.
would I have gotten more if I did that versus the spear? And I love the spear.
Right.
Um, but like for you, for example, like because you're
Hmm.
talking about how you're pulling, or like if the CC is gonna come out to that kind of corner or whatnot, um, and where you're gonna use your RC to help deal with the CC,
Hmm.
then releasing the hogs in the center, you still have her. Maybe you get really deep into the base and then um, trigger a CC and then pull her.
Right. Right.
Do you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd get more out of it than the spear, but
Hmm. That would be something interesting to try for sure.
my panic hogs.
Yeah.
That's what I can call
Yeah.
them. I kind of like that idea though of releasing some troops into I'm a big fan of any of those troops that spawn other troops.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
anything that gives, increases things. I like that. Like the healer puppet, um,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And one thing I've been trying too is, let's say there is like a really good corner and it's by the CC and I trigger it with my RC in that first little bit. Then when I drop my queen and siege barracks on the other side, that's where the CC walks all the way across the base to get them. And it's going to be a triple ice golem or double ice golem, almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's not freezing my whole army; it's just freezing the queen, or the three queens, I guess, because of the magic mirror, and then the CC with the P.E.K.K.A.s. It deals with them so quickly, and then I can just send in my main army and not even worry about the CC at all. And my queen's pretty much still full health because she's still on the outside.
And does she end up walking along the outside mostly then?
It depends. Because the magic mirror is like crazy good for funneling,
I love
especially
it.
because if it's pretty close to your main army, then your one of your clones will attack the building like to the left side, let's say, and take out that. So then the queen is more likely to walk to the right, which is where your whole army is. So sometimes like one of the clones walks around helping with the funnel where the main queen and the
Yeah.
other clone kind of go in with the army. So
That is an awesome piece of equipment for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
What did I do before that thing?
literally,
It's so good.
yeah.
Um, uh, did I ask you what you put in your CC?
No. So for defending, I use triple ice golem, just like everyone else. Three ice golems, headhunter, and four archers. Um, for attacking,
Oh, wait, say that again.
um,
Well, okay. Oh, your Legend League defense or your
yeah,
war?
my Legend League defense.
Okay, say that again.
Three ice golems, so that hopefully they time fail. One headhunter, so that if they have a hero next to it and then they're frozen by the golems, it's just going to absolutely demolish that hero. And then 4 archers just for a little bit of extra damage and kind of holding them up if they're not splash.
Hmm. Okay.
And the nice thing about Legends is once you fill your CC once, it's filled forever. And I thought it was gonna have to be like at least,
Every day.
once a week or every day. I could see them doing that,
Yeah.
or at least once a season. But I filled this the first day of Legends like 2 months ago, and it still has the exact same troops. So it's really nice that they did that.
Yeah. That took me a little bit to figure out. And
Hmm.
and so now and like the home village is not your, you have to actually set your base.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to learn about this stuff, I think.
Yeah. New
Legends.
screens.
Yeah, new screens, this battle log. But I like that part of it. I thought
Yeah.
I attacked maybe more than I did too. Like I thought
Mm.
like normally, you know what I mean? Like farming, I
Hmm.
thought I was like maybe like 12, 15 attacks a day, but I don't think so.
Right.
Because I feel like now even with that, I'm waiting on timers a lot of times. And I'm
Hmm.
going, oh crap, I still have two more attacks to do, and I only have like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah. Last night for me was a big struggle. I was busy all day working out and then working up at my neighbor's house. And then I had to go to swim practice that night. And before practice, I look and I had like 5 or 6 attacks left. And right now I'm on the West Coast. But when I started Legends, I was on the East Coast and it
Oh,
didn't switch time zones. So my Legends day ends at 9 p.m. every night instead of midnight, and
oh.
it messes me up so much. So I had to do like 5 attacks between 7 and 9. And so
Did
I was so stressed.
did you have you ever like gone in on a buzzer? Like it's
What do you
almost gonna
mean?
end?
Oh, yeah. Almost almost every other day.
Because I did that the other night, but it was an hour early. So I was like, I
Mhm.
can't remember what it is. I looked down and it said like um 29 seconds or something
Jeez.
left. And I think it was like a timer or something else I was looking at, but I only saw like the 20 sec, maybe it was like 1 hour and 20 seconds or something like that.
Mhm.
And I just had a panic. I was like, no. And I almost pushed attack. And
Yeah.
it just as it hit zero, and I'm like, thank God I didn't do that because I don't think I had everything ready.
Oh, man.
It's kind
Yeah.
of a different pressure that I'm enjoying. I could see how like you'd wanna sometimes maybe just take a break, um, or just not care how you do, I guess, is the other
Mhm.
alternative. Just to be like, oh well, I'll
Yeah.
just hit, and if I it can and can't. But um I'm interested to see how it goes like throughout the rest of January. Because I
Mhm.
came in just that last week, and I shot up
Right.
trophies fast, but I almost feel like there was like a different like queue or something, because there were a lot of people that
Mhm.
didn't attack me, and so I got up there. Maybe there just wasn't enough people in the pool at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've found is I think yesterday I was at like 5,200 because I got tripled every single attack against me.
Ooh,
It was minus 320 and I'm like I have to have a perfect day to break even. I did not have a perfect day. I think I lost like 40 trophies or something. Um, let's see. Yeah, I lost
I s-
48 trophies and I had a pretty decent attack day. Like my worst attack, I guess I did have an 83%, but everything else was like high 90s.
wow,
And I was like, I just lost trophies and I had a great day. Like that's awful.
that
But then
sucks.
today I'm minus 57 and I've only attacked twice. And so it's like I think right now at the beginning of the season, all the really good players are down here with us. And
Yeah,
so you just kind of get lucky or unlucky with who you get. And as the season goes on, it kind of goes you kind of get to a point where your true
sh-
skill level is.
it's like shuffling, like
Mhm.
then when these rounds and they kind of go up, and
Yeah.
the distance gets further and further.
Mhm.
Um, will you rise, Swimmy? Will you rise?
I hope so. Looking at these first two attacks today, it was a little worrisome, but I think I will be definitely a lot better than last season. I have a goal that I really want to get to 6,000.
Do you?
Yeah, I would be so happy with that.
Well,
But
you've got a
it'd be
max,
hard.
almost a max base. Like,
Hmm.
like the conditions are right, right? Like,
Yeah, for me, the only thing that's holding me back is my equipment.
oh,
It's just, I mean, I'm attacking right now with a level 10 earthquake boots. Um,
oh.
it's,
Well, I
yeah,
don't feel so
it's
bad for
not
my
good.
17. I was thinking I couldn't
Yeah,
really use them unless they were maxed out.
yeah. I think it. I don't know. I feel like for me, maybe using the gauntlet would be a little better because I have it maxed, but I want to get used to this because I know it's the meta right now.
Do you
But
do you feel like I kind of was wondering about this? Like, do you think this spear? Well, I guess you talked about whether or not it would be like nerfed or how it would be nerfed. Um,
hmm.
and I know some people in the clan were talking about like they're starting to see bases are starting to catch up with it. Uh, do you think? Are you seeing it in the attacks against you? I guess maybe. Are you seeing it more often, or is this something that just like um? There's a lot of people using the Spirit Walk. I guess is what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Is this the
yeah.
meta?
It is definitely. Like every single video that I get recommended on YouTube, everything it's all Spirit Walk, Spirit Walk, Spirit Walk, or like all these things saying, "Oh, the easiest spam attack strategy," and it's always uses the
This
at least uses the boots.
okay. That always makes me nervous
Yeah,
because then just the time I get a whole hang of it, here we go.
yeah. But I mean, I think I could see them nerfing the. I could see them nerfing the damage and it not really affecting a whole lot except for like in a positive way. Like some people stop using it, but it you can still get the value that you need out of it.
Yeah.
Um, as long as they don't touch the radius, because if they do that, then I think it's over.
Yeah, that well, or if like if you're like me and have been using it ineffectively, you probably wouldn't know any of the difference. No, I'm getting the hang of it, because you guys seeing how well you guys have made it work,
Hmm.
kept me going. And it's really kind of fun. But
Yeah.
it's it's can be tough, but I'm gonna try it without those invis um pieces. What was in your offensive CC, by the way?
I have been using. Let me see. So one minion, one balloon, uh, three or four super minions, and then a rage, and then the siege barracks. And I like
Mage
the
and
super minions because like my whole army is ground, so sometimes the super minions get picked off by black mines. Um, but just being able to snipe off some of those defenses at the end,
yeah.
um, I mean, they pop out so much later that it's just like a random single target left or some random outside defenses that it can just pick off, and it helps so much.
I might try that. I
Yeah,
love the super
it's good.
minions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get them out of my army. I love that you can snipe, that they're great for, getting at what you need, and they're pretty tough, for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, especially when they have that range too. You can get, with the first couple shots, really take some trash out. They're my
Yeah.
reliable trash dealers, is I
Mm-hmm.
think um what it comes down to. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
I
that.
mean, I've had so many attacks that were saved by them, um, being in my CC because it comes down to the end, and sometimes I have a crazy attack that I have like half my army left, and then other ones it's just like a queen that's being targeted by a multi-archer tower. She's about to go down, but then out comes the super minions and just poop 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 and just pick it off, and
There
it's
they are. Those
yeah.
happy little bastards. You just gotta love them. Is
Yeah.
there anything you're hoping for in this new year from Supercell?
I really number one is ore. I have. I mean, I've been Legends now for a while, done the Ore War, been doing every single war, CWL, and I'm finally my equipment's getting there, but it's definitely still way under leveled. And I think some way to get ore, upping it in the daily a little bit. And I mean, I don't know if will ever add like a way to farm it, but just another source of it for sure.
Yeah, Tip and I were talking about that on the episode that we recorded.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Um, so uh, people don't know this because I haven't mentioned it yet, but Tip and I recorded an episode this weekend, and as soon as we were at the end of it, I realized we didn't have it recording or something happened. So I only had part of it. And so I'm just going to shout out Tip right here and just say I'm so sorry. And he was so kind and generous about it. We have until this point avoided it at all costs. Uh, and so, oh, it was a really devastating moment. And so at that point, I reached out to Swimmy and said, "Hey, can you come on?" So, and thank you for coming on there, Swimmy.
Yeah, of course. It's so much fun.
Uh, we were on the what else are you looking for?
Oh
Sorry,
yeah. So yeah, definitely the ore. I think the um event passes, I love them so much. And even if they don't have another equipment in it, I was really disappointed that this month we're not getting one. Um, just because
it's this.
like they help so much.
So this is January 2025.
Hmm.
The announcement was, and this they've done this other months, that it is the streak event, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
Um, but so there won't be an event pass this month or medal event, right? That was
I don't
the
think so.
yeah.
They didn't
I
have it
think
on
Itzu
their
said that.
calendar. Yeah, and I'm part of this Clash of Clans leaks Reddit channel, and they pretty much said that they're not doing it at all, and it
It's been
sucks big
been
time.
a long time since a streak event though, hasn't it?
Yeah, they only did it once, and I think there's so many issues with it, and so many people were outraged that they have been hesitant to try it again until now.
Well, hopefully there's some good rewards. Have you heard anything about the controllable heroes or anything
Mm-mm,
from that?
nothing. No, I
Hmm.
yeah, I think it was just like a fun thing to try. And in other podcasts, I there's a few other Clash podcasts that I listen to as well, and a few of them are pretty close to some of the people on like the dev board, and they were saying that they're like they were given access to it in the development box to try and see like, oh, maybe we could implement this into Clash, like in the actual game portion. And there was just got so complicated so fast that there's no way that they're going to do that.
I would like to see if they can't do it in that. I think a very simply controlled siege machine would be
Yes, that would be really cool.
doable. Like one
Hmm.
lever that goes forward or backwards, and a left or right or forward.
Hmm. Yeah, and it was like a kind of like they could do something like a siege barracks where it really has no other function other than you can control it like that, and then wherever you want, you can just drop off your troops.
Yeah,
Like that would be pretty cool, and have a even you
or the
could
ram.
invis it if you wanted or something like that.
Yeah, the train,
Yeah.
the pound town. I just saw something about that on TikTok. What else would you want to see, Sway? What do
um,
you hope for in the new year?
I think okay, Legends is great and I love it, but I think if they incorporated something else for max players, I'm not to that point yet, but pretty soon I will be. And rather than just creating a new alt account and farming that up, I think something else. I don't know, like really what they could do.
You know what I
Um,
had said to Tip? Um, my suggestion, I think, was if you got ore from FCs
mm,
or anything that was other engagement, like where
mm-hmm.
something where you could earn it for being social,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
or even if it was I can't remember what it was specifically. Just any way that you could do things extra to get more to have some control in the ore production.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
Um,
They'll definitely roll it out slow. And then on the FCs thing, I think I mentioned this last time, but being able to control the levels of what you attack with and the defensive levels in
yeah,
FCs would be it would help so much with, choosing the equipment that you want to do and choosing which hero you want to focus on. It would be so nice.
yeah, because you were using the treat that time
Mhm.
to get the boost for the FCs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
And I
that's kind of the problem, right? Because if you don't have a potion going when you do the FCs, you don't have those higher levels. And
Mhm.
then when you go into the regular war, or to a regular war, CWL match or whatever, and you put the boosts on, all of a sudden they're stronger and are acting differently.
Yeah, yeah. And
That would
like when I was doing it with that tree, I was tripling every single time. Like first time I tried the army and I would just triple, triple, triple. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be crazy OP. And so then I even in my first Legends hits that I had those three free maxed hits with the tree, I was triple, 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 and then I lost the tree, tried it again, and I got like a 60%. I'm like,
oh,
that's the equipment right there.
it's when you yeah when you see it,
Yeah.
and that's why sometimes I gotta go. Don't feel so bad, because I'm doing these legends attacks and my heroes aren't. I'm not doing it with maxed heroes,
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of under leveled still, but they're catching up. Um, I'm like, yeah, I still have a lot of power left to unfold on this board yet.
Yeah.
So, but practicing with those under leveled things, like imagine
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen when your boots are like maxed out.
Exactly.
You know,
And go on.
oh, you're just going to get stronger between now and then.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, if you're getting like I mean, you said to me that you're getting like 90s and high 80s and stuff and a lot of attacks. I think with everything max that all those high 80s turn into hundreds. And if you get like if you have a terrible attack now like a 60 or a 70, that becomes like a 70 or an 80
Yeah.
with just having things max. And it's like so much of Clash is farming, which is great. But then you get to equipment, and it's you have to play for years and years and years and years and years, and they keep releasing stuff at the same rate that it's you're never going to be able to catch up.
So what's your next piece? So you're going to finish out the boots and then both of your boots probably,
Um,
huh?
yeah.
Or
So right now I have the boots and the spear, the rocket spear and the electro boots at 21. And I think that's a pretty good benchmark for me of just kind of goal levels. So I'm going to take a break from the boots. I wasn't going to do this originally, but looking at it, I get an extra 25 damage per second and a little bit more self healing and hit point increase if I max it, which would be crazy expensive. So I'll take a break on that and focus on the spiky ball because
mm,
I think it's 17 right now for me, and between 17 and 21, I think that's another 500 damage and an extra target, which would
yeah.
be a massive difference.
Yeah. Mine's at 26 and like I feel like I want to max that one out.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
I mean just for that extra thing, but I have other priorities for sure.
Mhm. And then yeah, I'll have to hit those earthquake boots. Originally I was just thinking about using it for opening up walls, so I'm like, I don't have to focus on it at all. Keep it pretty low level. But now that I'm kind of doing the calculations of, okay, well, my spiky ball does this much damage. How much damage extra do I need to destroy this building? I'm like, I need it maxed.
Yeah. Yeah, even just up there is like, because what'd you say yours is at? Some,
My earthquake boots are 10 right now.
yeah, but your spiky ball was at,
Oh, 17.
yeah, even at 21, that you would
Hmm.
probably feel it like fully, almost fully.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's at level. Well, anything else you're hoping for this year?
Um,
Did
maybe
you?
some.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, sorry, sorry.
may, maybe some other type of event. Like the event passes are great, and I love those kinds of events. But if they could come up with something else like similar to it, where it's maybe a track of or that you could get,
Yeah,
and you have to buy the event pass, so they're still getting all their money and all that, and you still get all the ore. But something instead of just destroy these buildings and get these metals and then exchange the metals for other metals that exchange for equipment. Like instead of something like that, it's just something else. I don't know
something
what they could
new.
do, but
Yeah. Looking back, is there of 2024?
hmm
Is there anything, any standout season or skin that was your favorite or the one you like least?
yeah. Definitely least favorite skin is that Archer Queen toy puppet
Yeah.
Thingamabob. It's so weird. I have that
so
in my inventory and I just I don't want it. I don't want to see it.
I still have my queen, have it on my queen because I can see her easier, but I'm gonna switch it out.
Right.
I was kind
Mhm.
of in the Christmas spirit. It was the only.
Yeah. So that's definitely my least favorite. I think I don't okay. This was I think right before I came back or I had just come back. And it's the oh, it's the underwater scenery. It's like Dragon Palace or something.
Yeah, I think that was right when
Um
I was coming back too.
Yeah, and I'm like, the second that comes back in the shop, I've been waiting. Like ever since I saw it on someone's base, I'm like, oh, what's that? So I scanned through the wiki, finally found it. I'm like, okay, it's gonna come back in like March or February, and I'm buying that. And the skins go great. I love it, and obviously Swimmy would match very
Oh
well.
yeah. I don't
So,
remember that one at all as you're saying this. Like I have the water RC.
hmm
That's the one you're talking about, right? Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
season?
yeah. I guess I think it was like it was like a coral reef with like a sunken ship, and the music is the music's one of the best background musics. Like everything about it is like perfect. It's so
You
good.
know, I have not turned up my sound on the game in like 8 years.
Really.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't even think about the sounds.
hmm Do
Do you
you
listen?
have sound effects on
No.
or
Do you?
no? Oh, yes. I think that helps me so much. Even with the eagle gone, I mean, you can hear when the CC pops, and
Shit.
certain it helps a ton.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, embarrassing moments on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should. I know I've talked about this before in the past, but I know people have said it, but I think as these armies have become more complicated, that's
hmm
probably would give me a little bit more of an edge.
And you can if you let's say you are using that spirit walk and you glance away to set some other troop down or something, which I don't do. I don't suggest that you do that because I think that's too much happening at once. It'd be really easy for the RC to die. But if you
Yeah.
do that or look somewhere else or something, it's good so you can start hearing things starting to shoot, and you're like, I got to go back
Oh,
and save this RC.
okay. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
probably
good.
you're probably like when you got on the podcast. I'm like, oh, hold on a second, I'm attacking. You didn't hear anything in the
Mm-hmm.
background. You had no. You're like, well, why can't I hear anything? Yeah, just do it. I listened to Little John and attack in silence. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I and their Supercell does do really good with music. I've seen posts from people about like if Supercell wasn't a gaming company, they would be like a music production and like art company. Because I mean, some of their art that they do and music, it's so good.
Yeah, I have no idea what any of the scenery sound like.
Yeah, they're
They
each
all
one's
sound
different,
different.
and yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You should look up the Dragon Palace. I think it's Dragon Palace. It's something like that. The music for it, like it's like this kind of Chinesey, like super energetic. It's so
I
cool.
didn't even I was blind, but now I see. Oh my
It's
lord.
good.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm going to do that. Um well, before we wrap up, I thought since I have you here, Swimmy,
Hmm.
and you're a Clash fan, how about
Very
we
big.
do a little bit of Clash trivia?
Okay.
Okay, so I found this on the internet.
Hmm.
I believe it's correct. So, um, so we'll test it. I'm sure if
Okay.
there's any feedback, you can let me know.
All right.
Okay, let me find it
It's gonna be
again.
so embarrassing if I get it all wrong.
Well, well, I don't think I would get some of these right, but I would get them all right because I've got the answers, so I can't pretend. Okay, so I'm gonna read you the question,
Hmm.
uh, and then there are four options. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll give you the question. I'll read you the options. You got phone a friend? No, I'm just kidding. Uh, okay, swimming. Where does dark elixir come from for 100 points? A, from fossilized black dragons. B, from the dark. C, from witches. Or D, from tombs. Dun, dun.
I would have to try A.
You selected A. Correct.
Whew.
The
All
January
right.
2013 update specified that dark elixir is created from fossilized black dragon bones, which is kind of
Hmm.
odd, since dark elixir is not involved in training or upgrading dragons in any way. All
Oh,
right,
that's true. That's true.
you have 100 points.
Right.
All right, what is the most effective defense against P.E.K.K.A.s for 200 points? A, the Tesla towers, B, the lava launcher, C, the crusher, D, the roaster.
I'd say C.
Incorrect. The
Incorrect.
Tesla towers are the best defense against the
Tesla
heavily
tower.
armored P.E.K.K.A.s because P.E.K.K.A.s take
Oh.
double damage from electricity.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that back then.
Yeah, and in the old days, that was really more true, I think.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I remember those used to just shred them.
okay, here's one that is different. Why is Clash of Clans banned in Iran? In Iran, A, Iranian officials object to the presence of magic in the game. B, because of a quarrel with the founder of Supercell. C, Iranian officials believe the game promotes violence and tribal war to teenagers. D, because Super is D, because Supercell isn't licensed to do business in Iran.
Oh, I could
Iran.
I could see I could see A kind of making sense maybe, or it could just be the simple D.
And what is your final answer?
Um, I'll go A because it's a little funnier.
All right. Incorrect.
Oh man.
Iranian officials feel the game is too violent and a bad influence on teenagers.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's funny. For Clash especially.
This is a tough one. Um, no. Okay. Why was the spiky cactus obstacle released? A, in celebration of Supercell's newly released game, Brawl Stars. B, because they couldn't keep it imprisoned any longer. C, to raise money for Earth Day, or D, in celebration of Desert Appreciation Day?
I think it was A, if it's the one that I'm thinking of,
That's
because
what I'm thinking too.
yeah.
And I hope there's no picture question here. Correct.
Yes.
The spiky cactus looks like Brawl Stars Brawler Spike.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play Brawl Stars for a little bit, and then I was like, "Yep, Clash is taking too much of my time, so I'm
Eh,
gonna put that down."
There's something about not having the live competition emoting you back sometimes, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
um, okay. Which structures can have the greatest amount of hit points in the game for 200 points? For 200 points, let me do this again because I don't want to confuse you. For 200 points, which structures can have the greatest amount of hit points in the game? A. Builders' huts. B. Walls. C. Archer towers. Or D. Wizard towers.
Whichever one Walls was.
Walls. B.
Yes.
Correct. A
Yes.
level 15 wall can have 12,500 hit points, the most of any structure in the game.
Now it's 15,500.
Now it is?
Yeah, with level
Okay.
18.
Oh, maybe this might be an old quiz, but okay. For 300 points. You feeling the heat, Swim? You feeling
Yes.
this heat? Okay. What is the second troop unlocked in the Dark Barracks? A. Hog Riders. B. Golems. C. Minions. Or D. Goblins.
Second troop?
Second troop.
Okay. Um, could you repeat the answers again?
A. Hog Riders. B. Golems. C. Minions. Or D. Goblins.
I wanna say the second one's so hard. I feel like it could be golems because on my lowest town hall, I use golems and witches. But no, that was town hall 10. That was town hall 10 because of infernos. Could it be minions?
Is that
This is tough. This is tough.
A. Hog
Um,
Riders, B. Golems, C. Minions, or D. Goblins?
could it mm, could it be hog riders?
A. Hog Riders, correct for 300
Yes. Okay.
points.
Okay. Okay.
The,
Phew.
the Hog Riders are the second troop unlocked in the Dark Barracks, and their ability to jump over walls make them a very useful troop and type indeed.
Yes.
Okay, 400 points. We're dialing it up. Okay, what does the Skeleton King do when tapped for 400 points? A. Attack everything within arm's reach. Uh, A. Attack everything within arm's reach. B. Dance a jig. C. Take off his head and bow to the player. D. Give a creepy moan.
I think he takes off his head. I don't have that skin, but I think I've seen that before. I don't know if
C.
it's the
Take.
Skeleton King.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Phew.
He takes
Yes.
off his head and bows, kind of like how a living person might take off his hat. Okay. What happens when you tap the vacant tomb special obstacle? A. A zombie climbs out of it and dances. B. You hear a ghostly moan. C. Nothing. D. A see through skeleton flies out of it and disappears.
Oh no. I have that on my alt account. There's two. I think it's the skeleton or the ghostly skeleton flies out one. The last one.
A zombie climbs out of it and dances. Oh, a see through
No,
skeleton
not
flies
that.
out of it and disappears. D.
Yes.
I can read them again. A zombie climbs out of it and dances. B. You hear a ghostly moan. C. Nothing. D, a see through skeleton flies out of it and disappears.
I think it's D.
Correct. The
Yes.
see
Okay.
through skeleton doesn't actually do anything, it's just a fun Easter egg.
Yep.
I went past this quiz because I didn't turn on my sound. All right, for 600 points. What is the only troop to appear in both the builder base and the home village? A, the P.E.K.K.A. B, the baby dragon. C, the archer. D, the wizard.
uh, I would say the baby dragon. I don't think that's a special name in Builder Base, right?
B, the baby dragon.
Yes.
I'm saying that because I'm correct. I'm
Yes.
unsure.
Okay.
I'm unsure. I was like, is this question wrong?
Right.
Okay.
Because I
Babe.
think all the other ones are special kinds of each of them.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The baby dragon, a perennial favorite, is the only troop to appear in both places.
Hmm.
Okay. 700 points. What is the only way to acquire a magic hammer? A, by removing the ancient barbarian statue obstacle. B, by looking in the builder hall. C, by buying it at the league shop with league medals. Or D, by completing the single player campaign.
C, and I know it far too well.
Yeah. Unlike other magic items, the magic hammer can only be acquired by buying it at the league medal shop or the league shop with league medals.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. For 800 points. Builder elixir is supposed to be purple, but sometimes it's a different color. What is that color? A, chartreuse. B, blue. C, pink. Or D, green.
I didn't even know that it had multiple colors.
I
Um,
don't know if I did either. I
I
know I'm
guess,
looking at these lists, like, I'm just as curious as you are what the answer is going to
yeah,
be.
I would just, oh, I think it's either pink or blue. I'm just gonna say pink.
C, pink. Correct.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. The builder elixir coming out of the elixir collector in builder base is pink for some reason. All
Hmm.
right. We got two more questions. How do you join the Legend League? 900 points. Doesn't seem like a 900-point question. A,
Yeah.
win 1,000 battles. B, earn 5,000 trophies. C, earn 5,000 trophies and win 1,000 battles. D, by invitation only.
B, 5,000 trophies.
Correct. You're automatically enrolled in Legend League after you win 5,000 trophies. Okay. How long would it take? Okay, so this is 1,000 points. This is for all the
Okay.
marbles.
Grand finale.
The grand finale. You could take home the new RV. You can take home the new washing machine. Okay, swim. How long would it take for you to remove enough obstacles to pay for the third, fourth, and fifth builder huts? A, approximately 528 days. B, approximately 14 days. C, approximately 60 days. Or D, approximately 365 days.
Uh, Ooh, it's either A or D. I'm gonna go with let's see, 2,000, 3,000. Just obstacles. I'd say A.
A. Correct. The winner,
Yes.
Swimmy!
Yeah.
Assuming that your village contains less than 45 obstacles, it should take about 528 days for enough respawns to happen to collect the 3,500 gems you'd need.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done. You only
Thank
got
you.
two wrong, and I think um, I would have got, I would have got more than that wrong for sure.
Yeah, the Tesla one, I was like, I knew in the past it used to do double damage, but I didn't know if it was like in like an OG quiz or if it's like newer, like in like Builder Base or something.
I would have definitely got the different troops wrong, you know, or like the same
Mm-hmm.
troop for sure. And a
Mm-hmm.
couple of those other ones, I it would have been guessing for me if I did get
Yeah.
them. That was good. You did very
Thank
well.
you. Yeah.
Well, should we wrap up with some shout outs?
Yeah, sure.
Um,
I would shout out all the 15s that have been in this CWL,
oh yeah.
attacking almost max 17s and doing great. I mean, I'm seeing some that are tripled here, a bunch that are tripled, and lots of 2 stars, and it's very impressive that they can do that. I got to step up my game, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's cool to see like Elite, he was going over to CQ Revolution and working on some attacks and coming back and being
Hmm.
like, okay, uh if as long as I go up against one of the town halls that are similar to something like that, then I
Hmm.
got this. So it's yeah, really cool to see people like putting their all into it. And really
Yeah.
like you're saying, like we have um it's almost all 17s on the other side, but from about 20 down are 16s and 15s in these
Hmm.
wars for the most part. You almost couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? If we were all 17s and looking across, you could almost not tell.
Hmm.
They're just they're monsters.
Yeah. It's
So it's
so, I mean, I can only imagine when they get up to town hall levels how
I
they're going to
know
be doing.
I got to up my game. That's what it makes me
Yeah,
feel like.
exactly. Yeah.
Other shoutouts.
Um, I mean that's the biggest one, but obviously, thank you for having me on.
Shout out to you.
And and then also Tip, uh, glad to fill in for him after the technical
Oh
difficulties and
man,
stuff.
it was a good episode too. It was so good.
Uh,
And but so we're gonna record on Sunday, um,
okay.
and do that, because we had filled our time and it was just not an option to redo it right away. So my big
Hmm.
shout out, thank you, for short notice coming on. It's fun to talk to you about this Spirit Walk
Yeah.
stuff because our styles are pretty similar. And
Yeah.
I think kind of our position in the map too is, and even in like Legends League, it's
Hmm.
so it's kind of fun to see. Big shout out to Chewy, who's the war general this CWL, and who's just making it look easy and smooth. Um, really appreciate all the work. We're kind of switching out between uh, attacks to kind of promote some competition, or try to push ourselves a little bit more, which has been kind of fun. I
Hmm.
don't know. How do you like that swim?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it feel like there's a little bit more on the line?
Yeah, definitely. I like I feel like I'm not as tempted to just try and shoot for the 3 star when I know I probably won't get it, but
Yeah.
and then risk the 1 star. And I've had to be more strategic. I know there's a couple wars ago that I was I think like fourth or fifth on the map, and my mirror had like a double invis, and that's kind of the weak point with my attack. And
Oh.
so I was talking to people and trying to figure out if I could kind of swap mirrors. And I forget who took it, but someone was using like a blimp. And so they could take care of that pretty easily without risking the 1 star. And I took theirs instead.
Oh, was that last night
Was that? Yeah, maybe I think
or
that was
yesterday?
last night.
Maybe.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was Warpig. That was switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's the only problem with mirrors. Sometimes I think, you know, and maybe when we're doing the 15s that would change up a little bit more. But with the wide variety of town halls, it's um, but like if you see like my mirror, might not be the best one for me. Um,
Right, right.
so if we go by that line thing, so I'm glad you found that, especially with this CWL has been kind of neck and neck. It looks like we'll take second, I think.
Yeah, looking at it, we're like 12 ahead right now,
Yeah.
13 ahead. So we're doing good, but
And I kind of look at it and I think even like some of these clans we're up against, I think this might have been us last month, yeah. Um,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, okay, we'd put these percentages up where we're just seeing us dial up every time,
Yeah.
a little bit closer to that promotion,
And looking
which
at
is,
the one that we lost to, they're all 17s, even number 30. So and we did really well against them. I mean, it wasn't like super close, but we were only, wow.
yeah. And I think with these new Townhouse 17s and new bases and stuff that like the wars are looking different. Like
Hmm.
if we looked at a map today versus a map 2 months ago, we might think we're doing not as well. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like there were just it seems like both sides are getting less 3 stars,
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree
and
with
it's
that.
it's a fair trade that way.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I'd say the meta is even with the ease of attacking with the electro boots now, I'd say it is more balanced. And it's definitely harder than 16 in a lot of ways because of those spitters, especially.
yeah,
Um, I think it's in a pretty good spot. Like it's not like you're easily tripling every time, like with when Rudy's and Valks were the big thing like a year ago. It's definitely nice to have this little bit of harder.
yeah. At least it's changing. Like we're
Yeah.
seeing something different.
Yeah.
Um, Big shout out to all the listeners. I had a bunch of shout outs on the last show. So there's a couple emails I got to shout out. Sorry
Mhm.
about that. I did them on the last thing and I don't have them with me right now.
Mhm.
So get a hold of us. And big shout out to Tip. Uh, Next episode will be out next week with Tip and I, the redo. Ooh. Um, And get a hold of us, clashclanspodcast@gmail.com or clashclanspodcast.com. You can find the information up there. House of L is looking for some 16s, 17s. If you're looking to get to wars where we're having fun, but taking it serious and really giving it our all, you can find us there and happy to have you as part of the team. Or if you're looking, if you're like a TH 13 or 14, House of L2 is where more of our lower accounts and second accounts are too. So feel free to stop by for a war or to join, and you can find out all that information online too. So anywhere you want to point people to for you, Sway?
Just join the clan. I love to get to know a bunch of new people and stuff, and it's been great seeing, people kinda coming and going through from other clans, like, within the family or, kind of friendly clans.
And
It's been great.
there's nothing wrong too with kind of how some people are doing it. Like Tyler from CQ Revolution, when he'll pop over and just do friendlies
Mhm.
for a while, which is awesome and gets everybody practice and we can strategize. I just put in something about the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to join, if you put that in there, um, you're going to get accepted. Or if like you're a lower TH or there's not room or something, we'll just tell you, we'll talk to you, and let you know, hey, go over here because we're starting CWL or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's a friendly, fun place to be, I think.
Yeah, it's great.
All right then. Well, Swim, nice job on your uh, uh, quiz show, and the RV is in the mail.
Alright.
We'll keep it clashy.
Keep it classy.
Skilly beep boop, skilly beep.